My goal was to not have a job. That was my goal in life. Selfish music is, look, I can play a million notes in one bar. Look at me, look at me. I'm not that interested in that, but it's like acrobats. It's like for the circus. It's not really from the heart. I don't care how many notes you play. My favorite musicians didn't play a whole lot of notes, but they played all the right ones. But that's not, every musician doesn't do that. Most musicians become like a museum. They learn all this stuff. My name is Don Was. I'm the president of Blue Note Records. It's an honor to be the president of Blue Note Records. I started collecting Blue Note albums in 1966 when I was 14 years old. And I've been listening to the music my whole life. I got hired 48 years after I bought my first album. My goal was to not have a job. That was my goal in life. And I never thought about playing music or producing records as being a job. Doesn't mean I didn't work hard at it, but it was fun. I'd have done it for free. But this was going to be a job. I was going to have to learn how to do this job. And I was going to have a staff of people working for me, and there was a tremendous responsibility. I was just honored to be the caretaker of the legacy of music and to move it forward with new, innovative artists, but also respect the past and make sure that that music was, available to everybody and with great quality. My kids are all musicians. So I took two of my sons to have breakfast with Wayne one day. Wayne was trying to be helpful, right? So he said, here's how I write music. He said, I stand in front of the TV set, I hold my saxophone, and he puts on Fox News, which in the United States is very right-wing Donald Trump news, right? He said, and then I get all these Captain America action figures, and I set them up in a semicircle to protect me from Fox News. And then with that protection, I pick up my saxophone and I argue with Fox News. And that's how I write songs. I thought he was speaking metaphorically. And then what he was saying was, don't play notes, play life, observe life, and speak to that. Play what you see, not what you think. Then I went to his house, and he had a semicircle. Yeah. Basically, Blue Note has a tradition of signing artists who have absorbed the fundamentals of music right up to the current moment. But then they take that knowledge and use it to create something brand new. That's not, every musician doesn't do that. Most musicians become like a museum. They learn all this stuff and then they just keep playing things that already happened. The leaders, the great musicians. And in Blue Note's history, it's been throughout the history, is Thelonious Monk in the 40s. It was Art Blakey and Horace Silver in the 50s. It was Wayne Shorter and Herbie and Ornette and Eric Dolphy in the 60s. It was Robert Glasper in 2011. They were all musicians who studied and had complete knowledge and technical facility, but then used all of that to break down the barriers and create something that didn't exist previous to them. Those are the musicians we look for. Also, I think there's two kinds of music. There's generous music and there's selfish music. The style, the genre doesn't matter. Generous is someone who says, I'm feeling something deep inside of me. I'm going to try to, I can't put it into words, but I'm going to play it. And hopefully you will receive that message and it will bring you comfort and joy and understanding of life. And it'll help you deal with the chaos of everyday life. That's generous music. Selfish music is, look, I can play a million notes in one bar. Look at me, look at me. I'm not that interested in that. You know, you see a musician who can do that, you understand that they practiced. There's a lot of work that went into it, but it's like acrobats. It's like for the circus. It's not really from the heart. I don't care how many notes you play. My favorite musicians didn't play a whole lot of notes, but they played all the right ones. There's some new artists that I think will blow your mind this year. Brandon Woody. Yeah, we just put out a debut album from his first album. A young guy, trumpet player, composer, band leader, and he's awesome. He's so deep and so soulful. There's a pianist named Paul Cornish, who his first album is coming in a month or two. And still in his 20s. He's been playing with Josh Redman for the last couple of years, but now people are really starting to understand that he's a really deep guy. He's the next guy. He came out of that same high school that Jason Moran went to, that Robert Glasper went to, that James Francis went to, that Walter Smith and Chris Dave and Beyonce. They all went to the same, different times, you know, but Walter Smith, yeah.
In a previous interview with Michael Kuskuna for the magazine, we asked a question about old classic Blue Note records, vinyls selling for thousands of dollars, and he said, I don't remember the exact word, but he said something like insane. He joked about saying, you should buy a car instead. Do you agree with that?
Well, it's an economy. And I understand collecting and trading and doing it for profit. And I don't really have a problem with that. But I will tell you that it's been our mission to get great quality vinyl in the hands of people at a reasonable price.
Yeah.
It gets more expensive all the time. There's this guy putting tariffs on everything. Perhaps you've heard of him. This orange guy. And that's not helping anything. But you know, really since COVID, it's gotten more expensive. Everything costs more. But I think you can still get a good bargain, and everything's under $40. It's, you know, no one's paying $4,000 for an album.